Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Studio Insights with the Belvista Studios team. We've got Kim, Victoria, and myself, Hannah, here, and we are instructional designers at Belvista Studios. What we do in these episodes is we ask each other questions, we learn from each other so that we can get better at what we do, and hopefully you can be inspired by the conversations that we have. Before we get into the episode, I highly recommend checking out our human-centered design development opportunities on the Creator Hub. There are lots of things that you can do to learn human-centered design and apply it to your instructional design or learning design process. And it's been incredible for us, so highly recommend checking it out and giving it a go. Before we get into the discussion for this episode, I wanted to ask Victoria and Kim, if your question was an emoji, what would it be?
Mine would be like the little target thing.
Oh, yeah, I love that one. That's a good one. A target. Nice.
I think mine would be, I'm going to scroll through it now. Because I've never used it, but I feel like there's like a chain link or something like that in there.
Yeah, I think there is. Chain link. Ooh.
Wait, there's a ninja one as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
But can I use both of them together?
You can use both.
Thanks. What's yours?
Mine is a rainbow emoji. All right, well, that's given everyone a little bit of a teaser into the questions that are coming. Kim, you can ask your question first.
Okay, mine's for you, Hannah. We're doing a lot of work on cyber training at the moment. Cyber threats and hazards was what I was trying to say. And how to build an organizational awareness around that. And I know you were looking at all the projects that we've created so far because we've done quite a lot of solutions, which are not just like a one-off training intervention. They have like a lead up. They run for a couple of months in an organization. They have many different components. I have two tasks that I actually need a refresher on the kind of work that we have done that will help two of my projects this week. So you know how you did that list yesterday? Could you just call out, and then everyone else listening gets the benefit of all the great, amazing things that we've created as well. So ideas for cyber training or cyber awareness in organizations. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to get the list up.
Oh, good.
Take me 1 second. Okay, so some of the things we've done are data slogan stickers. So coming up with like a short phrase or slogan that represents data or like the culture that you want to create. And you can use them for like laptops. You can put them on coffee cups, on people's desks, on the wall. Team meeting kits. So coming up with activities that leaders can run with their team to help them better understand the importance of cybersecurity and come up with like specific ways to be more cyber secure in their team, like specific to their team and their context. So creating posters that represent what data is for people in recognizable examples. So for example, data is the text message that you sent this morning, or data is, and then just showing them exactly what it looks like in the real world so it doesn't seem so like techie and hard to grasp. You can create QR code posters, so you could have like a question or something that people might be interested about relevant to cyber, and when they scan the QR code they might get the answer to that question, or it might lead them to more information to help with their curiosity. Posters with like book and video recommendations, and a QR code. So there might be different things that you can curate out in the world that help people be more cyber secure. And when they scan the QR code, it can link them to that resource. Getting people to record myths that they've heard about cybersecurity. and to debunk that myth. Discussion cubes, so coming up with prompts that people can answer to help them to discuss and figure out how cybersecurity can fit into their day-to-day life. So each side of the cube would have a different prompt. They could hand it between each other or on a group of people and answer the prompts. We have got the illusion posters. So I didn't create these, I just linked to them. Do you remember what they were about, Kim?
Looking at something and seeing that there's more to meet the eye. So for example,
yes.
it was just thinking about it differently, but like a link in an email, which is one of the biggest things that people get hacked through, is knowing that there's more to meet the eye, more than meets the eye.
Love that. We also had AI art. So we got people to tell us what they thought. So for example, you could say, what does cybersecurity mean to you? People give you their answers, and then using everyone's answers, you create a piece of art using like AI generated software for artwork. We had an intranet post that showed them what was included in their like learning campaign. So it made them like excited and see there's like lots of different parts and it's beautifully designed just to get them like engaged and wanting to learn more about cyber.
Yeah.
We had mirror stickers. So that's where you can have like a one-liner or something that people can reflect on, and you stick it into bathrooms in the office or out on the field, depending on the organization, get people to reflect in that way. We had cards that they could collect, and each card had like different prompts or actions for them to try out in their workplace. And they could like trade the cards with each other. There was like a QR code on the cards where they could find more information. We also got people to tell us what they thought about, for example, cybersecurity. And then we created posters that responded to what people said. So, for example, if someone said like cybersecurity is confusing, we created a poster that was like, to the person that said cybersecurity is confusing, let's get to know each other and bridge the gap so you know what I do, or something like that. So it was like a quirky little response to people. We did flow charts that showed people exactly what steps they needed to take if they noticed a cybersecurity issue. So like it would tell them what to do, and then if the answer was like, yes, this happened, or no, it didn't happen, they'd go a different line down the flow chart, and basically it led them to what they needed to do to respond. We created screensavers for their computer that had like you could have like a slogan about cybersecurity, or like actions or principles that they should follow, so they see it whenever they're on their computer. We created it's like a poster that was from the point of view of a cyber criminal, and it showed the type of threat opportunities that they might have relevant to the audience. So it might say like, these are the permissions you have, and this is what I'm trying to do, given you have those permissions. So we wanted people to see like from the perspective of the cyber criminal what they could potentially be a target for.
You can just, for the rest of them, if you want, just to save time, just name what they wear, like team meeting kit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, okay. So we had email linked to eLearning to like introduce it. We had a leader kit. We had a worksheet. And we had, I think I've already mentioned this, but another meeting kit that teams could do together.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just needed it as a refresher, but I thought it would add value to other people to think differently about how do you create an intervention, how does a change initiative align with training? Just give them ideas as well for brainstorming. Training
Yeah.
is not always just e-learning or face-to-face. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All good. Victoria, did you want to ask your question?
Yes, it's for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how, if you've set a goal and you're taking actions or steps towards the goal, how do you stay motivated if you're not seeing any results? And you think you should see results.
So 0, there is no feedback that the progress and actions that you're taking is having any impact at all.
Yeah.
I think you've got to change approach.
Yeah.
Or first of all, check yourself, is the goal realistic or achievable? Does the goal need to be reset? Because it sounds like there would be misalignment of the steps to achieve the goal. And to do that, you would check in. Sorry, do that. I'm thinking it through live. That's why I'm slow. Is there misalignment to our actions towards the goal? The first check to see if that is a case is, am I taking all responsibility within my control and influence for those actions to match up with the goal? And if the answer is yes, then the actions are the wrong actions for the goal, potentially. I haven't played that out for lots of situations, but I'm just thinking that would be a massive red flag for me.
Yeah, I love that, Kim.
Thanks.
I think to like add on to that, potentially, like what I've had to do in the past is like seek advice from someone who's achieved it before, who's like an expert in it.
Love that.
Because like, for example, I thought I was on track with my finances, but then when I actually spoke to a financial advisor, I was like they highlighted all the things that I wasn't doing properly, and I like had no idea. And I thought I was like moving forward and like doing the best I could, but I actually wasn't, because I didn't have the education. As an example, so maybe you could reach out to someone who's achieved it or knows more about it.
Yeah.
The other thing is to like I don't know how long you've waited, but like you do need to be patient sometimes. Like things don't happen overnight. So like just reflect on like, was it like what Kim was saying, is it actually realistic? Like you gave yourself a certain amount of time. Do you actually need more time? And if you keep doing what you're doing, like you will get there. Because things do take time. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. I think just be real with yourself as well, like whether you actually are doing everything in your control. Because even like not doing one small part of it, or like not going as full on some part of it as what you originally planned, like could impact it. But it sounds like you are doing everything that you planned, right?
Yeah, well, it's sort of hypothetical, but it's like relevant to a few different things in my life.
Yeah, I honestly think find an expert and listen to them. It's my advice.
Yeah. That's good. I feel like the stuff that you guys have both said is for the main thing that I brought it up for, which is not work related. I figured the question can be work motivated. Like I'm on track and I've got the right ideas for like what I can do and what I take responsibility for.
That's cool. Do you need more from it for it?
If you've got more.
Or do you want to play out the one where you're like, oh, it doesn't really apply?
Yeah, I can play it all out. People will get different.
Yeah. So with push back now on what Hannah and I have said in the one where those things are not applicable or you've already exhausted them.
What if I have spoken to a professional, taken their actions and taken full responsibility for everything that I've tried and fully like executed on it and it's still no results?
Ask the professional why it isn't working and then find another one.
That could be it though, get a second opinion.
Yeah.
Give me a moment. I'm just playing out the scenarios in my head if we're trying to apply. I'm looking at different contexts to see, can I find a pattern? Hannah, please feel free to kill the silence.
Well,
actually,
I didn't want to interrupt your thinking. I didn't want to interrupt your thought pattern.
No, thank you. I actually can't think when there is noise, but I'm like, there's going to be an awkward silence for like 10 minutes. No, go on while you're there.
Well, I don't know if this is relevant, but I know for me, like, I don't know if this is relevant to your problem, but for me, I need to enjoy the process. If I don't enjoy the process, like I probably don't put 100% in, even though I say that I am going to. Like, for example, I know that I only get fit at the gym when I actually love going. When I'm going through a phase where I'm like, I hate every part of being at the gym and this is like hell to me, I don't get fit.
What if you do enjoy it and still no results?
Well, then is the goal really that important if you enjoy working towards it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not all about the journey.
Gary V would say it very differently.
I wonder if so are you fatigued or exhausted at the moment in how your mindset is in what you've tried so far? No roadblocks?
No.
I think it's around having parameters on when you stop, pause, continue. So knowing your criteria around each potentially. And I think it's coming up with your own ultimatum for it. So success is this, failure is this. I can continue pursuing it this way under these conditions for this long, whether it's time, energy, how much pain, pleasure it gives you. I wonder if putting that in there helps with the progress. And there was a little mantra that a few of my friends and I would like our business, like we had a Monday mindset business chat this week, and we normally talk about like the business and planning for the week, and the mantra for everything is like, yeah, you've got shit to do, but we put a mantra in there which was I want, I get. And so we did the regular like planning, but when you go back through and aligning things to the goal or whatever it is, right? So all the steps to achieve the goal, but going back through myself personally, I found with the framing of I want, I get, there was this sense of urgency and this eagerness to to up the ante, to maybe work a little bit harder for something that I wouldn't, that in the past, or that I hadn't planned to. I was like, oh, I'll get it done by Friday, or I'm going to experiment, like kind of vibes. But when it was like, I want, I get, it was like, oh no, like this is the ultimatum. Like I have to have it by this time. So it kind of changed how I was approaching it. So I don't know, maybe that might help.
Can you give me an example of the I want and I get?
It's literally just like I've written this down. I want it. Fucking get it. Then like it was more of a mindset, a reframe around how much do I want it. And if I couldn't go, I want that, I'm gonna fucking get it for myself. Then I just dropped it. I was like, don't want it enough. See ya.
Oh wait, I'm not. I don't know if I'm just an idiot. I'm not grasping it. So the I want is like your goal.
Yeah.
The I get. Do you just say I get?
Okay. Here's an example. I want to organize a catch up with my friends. Okay. On Friday night. I text them like, hey guys, or like what I might do is my little like action that I can take is message the group and say, let's catch up at 5 p.m. and do XYZ. But my language might be, but all good if no one's available. But if it's I get it, hey guys, like let's do this on Friday at 5. I'd love to have you all there and do this thing together. So it's more the framing it changed how I approached getting the outcome. I was allowing an out before. Now I'm like, no, like all of you are showing up. So I might have considered, oh, like I really want to see them. Friday's ideal, but I know someone else has something on that night. So can I move it to Saturday and have them involved? Okay. And what is going to be the thing that I can say that they'll all say yes to and commit and there'll be no dropouts, for example.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That reminds me of like when you've talked about manifesting, and it's like instead of, I think it was you that talked about it, but it's like instead of saying like I want this to happen, you imagine like the feeling of if you already have it. Yeah.
That was also the other mantra, believe it and feel it as if it's already in existence.
No, that's good. That's useful to me.
Oh, maybe we're taking all responsibility.
It was happening if I have seen results, but I was like, what if I hadn't?
You little shit. I knew. I was like, you know, nothing. I was like, you have broken me if you can't get anything. Not you, but the process is broken. But that was a good challenge. It made me think differently about it. Thank you.
That was cool. Good job, team.
Resolved, Vic?
Yes.
Or satisfied? I actually just did an activity as well then to add to it because I might just support people, which I don't know how I feel about it, but I was just reflecting on it for myself today. So I was looking at quotes just to stimulate different thinking. So I just Googled Thomas Edison quotes and they happen to be very themed to this today. So one is, there's a better way to do, find it. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. And when you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this, you haven't.
Wow, that's cool.
That made me want to throw the phone away, but also keep going with gritted teeth. But yeah.
Feeling inspired, Vic, to get that goal. All right, cool. Well, we will move on to the last question, which is my question. I wanted to know from you, Kim, like you've been spending some time with Georgie, who we had on one of our episodes. And like she's like very creative and takes like really cool photos and helps people with their branding and all of that. And I just wanted to know like what you've learnt from like being in proximity with her and like seeing her work.
I'm laughing because she's gonna fucking watch this episode, mate. What have I learnt from? Oh fuck, I can't do this. Okay. Say it again, sorry, so I can just answer it properly.
just from like being in proximity to her and like being at her studio, she did like some photos for us recently. What have you learned from her and like the way that she does things? Because like I love the stuff she does. I love her website. I love the work she produces. So I'd just love to know like what you've learned from being around her. Shout out to Georgie.
Of georgecreative.com.au. You guys should check her out. Probably
Link in the description.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it'll go a lot. I think it's really nice alignment to things that we speak about a lot on our podcast. So it's backing it up and showing that when you do the things that we talk about, that you get the results as well. And that's someone that's outside of our little trio, you know, doing it. So number one, prioritizing. These are not in order, but this one I think is quite a strong one that Georgie does quite well, is prioritizing herself and what's important to her and trusting her intuition and knowing that she's worthy of all the things that she wants. And that she is capable of achieving her desires. And I think prioritizing the time to tap into what that might be, whether it's known or unknown, it's been sitting there, or like a deep-seated feeling, but not able to articulate into the world or express it into the world at a particular time for whatever reason, or a knowing and making it a priority. And when you prioritize and tap in and put it all out there as a possibility, and then go, okay, this is how I'm going to juggle it and put it into existence. And I know her process different to mine, but we did it at the same time. When in the past I've told you guys the process in previous episodes around reflection and goal setting, we did our last session together. And what she did, like, she's a designer, right? She's a creative strategist. She's like in art direction. So she wrote project briefs for her life and all aspects of her life. So like when we say success statement, she wrote what that is, and she got it down to like the scope of what that looks like for all aspects of her life. And then she did mood boards and vision boards for each of them so that she could really bring it to life, because that's obviously how she works. But being knowing that that is something that she needs for it to be so rich for her to get it into her life. And then it went down into like prioritizing it, like I do, into our week. So if we want these things, like what is it tangibly going to take in a week to make that happen? And she has her week structured like in like, this is my creative play, this is my client day, this is my soul time, and it's whatever way works for her, which I know I've talked about that in my way in the past. And what I've noticed since that being set is that she's continuously living in alignment with her true essence, and she is prioritizing it because it's in her peripheral, it's on her palette, it's so in her face on a daily and whatever way it is, with like a screensaver like you do, Hannah, with your vision board showing up every day to remind you. So she's got those reminders around her to help build the new habits to bring it into life. And she's very good with her boundaries in terms of, this is this time and I'm prioritizing it at this time, because when I do that, it then has a knock on for the rest of my week. So I think the foundations of a human are set up really well with Georgie in terms of knowing her purpose, her passion, and how it all aligns together, and then putting it into a system or a framework that allows her to show up every day to just live in alignment with her true essence, her expression, the impact she wants to have on the world, the way she wants to live her day, whatever that is, going to the beach, whatever. So I think the foundation and prioritizing that is key, and it doesn't take that much, like 2 days of your life to sort yourself out for the rest of your life. Fucking incredible. Why not? And then what I've seen that allow show up in terms of creativity is, in the past, maybe being inspired by these incredible things, like we all are, people doing amazing things, seeing amazing things, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's in life, whether it's your friends, people you know, celebrities, whoever it is, but any kind of influence in your life. What I've seen work from that process before to now is it's not out there anymore, it's in here. So the inspiration is coming from within, and it's allowed her to go, they're doing it, I can do it. I've seen it's possible. I can, like, they're doing it. It's possible for a human to do it, and I want to do it. So now I'm doing it. So then what it's showing up in is like how she's serving her clients and the energy that she's bringing there, the clients that she's attracting, the projects that she's attracting. It's all like just a magnet to all the good things, which then just means that she's working with people that value her and appreciate her for who she is, and they want whatever it is that she's putting out, because it's like contagious, which is really cool. And then because she's being appreciated for that, she's expressing herself even more, and she's really getting creative with her ideas, and but not just creative for the sake of creativity, like we talk in our industry about having shiny disco ball syndrome sort of thing. It's okay, if this is all the things that are possible, which are the 1, 2 things that are going to move the needle, have the true impact, which creative idea of problem solving and then expression should I bring to the world as part of this scope for this project? And that's really, really cool. And that's appreciated by the people that she serves, her customers, her clients, whatever it is. And then just more comes, more good things in all aspects of her life. What else? I think it's cool to be around. What I really love seeing, and this is like a recent, oh no, she's done this for a while, but one thing I'm seeing the reward of this playing out now is hearing something, knowing that's going to benefit me, and absolutely putting it into place from the get-go, like, and not compromising on that. So it's like, this will add value to my life. Okay, I'm going to action it the next time I have the ability or the opportunity to do that, in hard things, in asking for more money, in saying no, in whatever it is around your personal boundaries, professional and personal boundaries, but doing it that once you have access to the knowledge, and once she has access to the knowledge, she goes, that's going to add value to my life, puts it in play, and then gets fucking rewarded and stands in that because she knows it, because it's all mapped back. And what's cool about that is, like, if this is why we bang on and like so much around, just tying it back to the work that we do and why we're so big on human-centered design, is because we go, define success, identify your learning objectives, who are the people that you're serving, everything then comes and is mapped back. And that's why our clients appreciate us. That's why we create solutions that actually have an impact on the world. So it's all transferable skills. Going back to what Vic was talking about, have the goal, map intentional actions towards achieving the goal, and it works every single time. So I think that's really cool. I think it's, what else am I noticing? Hannah, can you ask your question again? Sorry.
This is incredible, by the way. But yeah, I just wanted to know.
That's because they have an incredible role model to play it off. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what you'd learnt from Georgie, from like being in proximity to her and like seeing her work and all that. You've already shared a lot of great things.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it is that. Thank you. I'm just trying to like rein in my train of thought, because it all has to start with, what do I want for myself? What's the plan to make that show up? But it's not little things. It's like, if this was the ultimate life, what could it look like, right? And then mapping actions towards that. If you go into the freelancer playbook, people download or buy that fucking thing because it is insane. If there's anything about Kim Tui, if there's anything about Belvista Studios, there's anything about this story that I'm telling you about Georgie and all the other people that have we have coached through the freelancer, they have got results beyond what I thought is possible because of the things that I'm doing using Georgie as a case study now. But it comes to, what the fuck do I want to be remembered for on this earth? What are all the possibilities? How do I make it happen? And then how does that align and show up in every minute of my intentional day? And then it's about the expression on the how and the what. Well, more the what in the world. And then the how is the apply. So the what that you're putting out, whether it's when you're cooking a meal or taking a photograph or anything like that. And then, so if I get down to the detail of the specifics of watching her work is, so she's creative strategy. So similar to what we do is that analysis. What's the problem I'm trying to solve? Who am I serving and who am I solving the problem for? What's the best way to create something for that? But she's doing it in content creation for them, in a brand, storytelling, ideas for them to have their version of that out in the world. This is just one aspect of it. But if I think about like what that looks like in her process, which sometimes I get inspired, like whether it's a YouTuber or whatever, but I'm privileged to like be part of some of those conversations or see her play that out for clients, is she's looking and saving shit on Instagram, on Pinterest. She's making mood boards. And when she has the opportunity, she is pulling them up and doing that shit. Not that shit, it's really great work, but I just don't have words, vocabulary. Is she is not compromising on her process and what it takes to do her best work for the people that are paying her, or that value exchange. And so there she goes, yeah, I am going to brainstorm and I am going to have this conversation because I need to know these things so that I can serve you the best. I'm going to do a mood board. I'm going to I'm going to try that cool idea that I saw this crazy ass person that I admire doing. And I'm going to do that for my client. And I'm going to try it and see what happens. And even though it might not be perfect the first time, it's good enough. It blows other people's minds because it's already gone above the benchmark. And she knows next time, oh, this is what I do. It's taking the time to reflect and then do it differently next time. So that's been really cool. And it's just also, like, I think it's just the daily rituals and habits that she has as a person that allows all of this to show up and not compromise on those things and not compromise on those boundaries that allow that she knows they set me up for success as a human being, whether it's, I don't know, sunrise meditation, journaling, saying no to things, all of those little things. She's not fucking around for other people on them. So yeah, it's intentional living at like one of the best. I'm going to say one of the best I've ever seen, because I'm not taking the time to think beyond it. But all of the things we ever talk about are worth it. And it's really cool because right now I'm seeing her in existence in it, and I'm seeing her happiness, and I'm seeing the pure joy in her eyes and in her body and her mind and her energy in every single cell of showing up as a human being.
Wow.
So it is worth the effort, all of these things.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. And when I see that happen, and some of the things are things that I'm like, oh, you should try that. Or they're things that I might do for myself in my life. And then I see the results that she gets, then I'm like, oh shit, Kim, you got to do, like, don't forget to do that, because you're looking at the evidence there. It's quite inspiring.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for that. That was awesome. I feel like the key thing that I wrote down like everything you said, but I feel like I'll need to like process it properly after. But from what I got from what you said is like the importance of prioritizing yourself. Like it sounds like she does prioritize herself, and that's because like she knows that she's worthy of the things she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then because she knows that, like, that leads to her actually planning what she wants her life to look like and getting to the detail of like what she actually needs to do each week in order to like have that life, which I think is really cool. And like when you said like it's 2 days out of your life, but that's to plan your life. So you're like happy and like living in alignment every single day. I think that like really stuck with me, how important it is to like take that time to plan.
Yeah.
And then also like knowing your boundaries. So like once you have planned to know what life you want to live and what impact you want to have, like being comfortable to say no to things that don't align to that. And I think that comes from like the self-worth of like, I'm worth having what I want and I can say no to things that don't feel right to me. So I think that's really cool. It actually reminded me as well when you're talking about like when she does her work, like she does her thing in a way that like she thinks is incredible and will present it to the client rather than like letting the client dictate what she creates. Did I hear that correctly? Like
There
she
is
lets like
definitely an
her
element
own.
of that.
Yeah, so that actually reminds me of I did the masterclass with David Carson, and he was very much like that as well. Like he said, like whatever he felt intuitively or from the soul was the right thing for his client, he would always present that first, whether he thought it would align with them or not. Like I think sometimes we can be like, oh, that's too out there for the client, or like I need to go more traditional or what they've done before. Whereas like David Carson, and it sounds like Georgie as well, like they do just put their heart and soul into things. And then you can like always adjust down the track. But I think it's so cool that they like start with that.
Yeah.
And that's so cool that Georgie has that at her age, because like David Carson's one of like the biggest people in graphic design and has learned and been through a lot, and she's already at the stage where she's letting like prioritizing her own creativity and like what she has to offer. So I think that's so cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the exact wording, but it was really cool and I'll use it anytime someone brings up imposter syndrome, is like you are your own point of difference. That's all that matters. You're the unique selling point. There is no other Hannah. There is no other Victoria. There's no other Kim. We are our point of difference. And when you can step into that, that's where you thrive, because everything is just an extension of you. And if you're extending from you in the right application, fuck, you're just living in bliss every single moment of every single day. And that is where she is absolutely at now and fucking killing it. And it comes from a choice. A choice in every moment you choose.
Did it come from her childhood, like knowing what she wanted to do? Like did she do creative stuff and like take photos?
What's what I just got delivered?
Oh, from the incredible person we're talking about as well.
No, but anyway, it's listening to that stuff. Yeah. And we've said that before. When you're a little girl, when you're a little boy, when you're a little human, what were your interests? What were you playing? Okay. What were those little ideas that you had? Are those dreams something that you're bringing back now? Are these dreams that they should be in existence now? Absolutely. Listen, and fucking choose them. Don't make it's too hard. I'm too old. I don't have the experience. It's all fucking bullshit. Choose it.
Boom. That's going to be a snippet for sure on YouTube. I love that. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. And you are a very inspiring, Georgie. It was great to hear like more about you. If you're listening to this from Kim, yeah, very cool. And I'm going to be reflecting and seeing how I can apply what you do to my life. So thank you. Would anyone like to say anything before we finish up today's episode? It was a good one. No. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in a future episode.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.